Good evening and welcome to the Town of Acton Selectmen's meeting for March 26, 2015. First item on the agenda, salute to the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Approval of the agenda.
I move that we approve the agenda.
Seconded.
All in favor? Approval of the minutes of the last meeting.
I move we approve the minutes of the last meeting.
Seconded.
All in favor? Old business, lawn care bid. The Town of Acton is soliciting bids for lawn care from May 1st, 2015 to November 30th, 2015. Mowing is to be done at the Acton Town Hall, Acton Public Safety Building, Mary Grant Nature Preserve, and the Lincoln School on an as-needed basis. Raking, fertilizing if needed, and spring and fall cleanup at the Town Hall site are included. Bids should include both a price per mow and a price per season quote, as well as a list of 3 references. All bids need to be submitted by 4 p.m. April 8, 2015 to the Town of Acton, H Road, Acton, Maine, 04001. Bids will be opened at 7 p.m. at the Selectmen's meeting April 9, 2015. Envelope should have lawn bid plainly marked on the outside, proof of liability insurance, and workers' comp or exemption from must be furnished before bid is awarded. Nomination papers. Nomination papers for the following seats are now available in the town clerk's office. Completed papers must be returned to the town clerk no later than 4 p.m. on Friday, April 24, 2015. Candidates are required to get a minimum of 25 and no more than 100 signatures of registered Acton voters. The municipal election will be held on Tuesday, June 9th, 2015. Polls will be open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. at the Acton Town Hall. 1 selectman, assessor, and overseer of the poor for a 3-year term, 1 road commissioner, District 2, Southern, 3-year term, 2 school committee members, 3-year term. Questions regarding nomination papers or the election should be directed to the town clerk at 636-3131, extension 401, or email jrue@actonmaine.org. Thank you. Order for June 9th. Voted. It is hereby ordered that the question set forth below be placed. We do the order, but we're not doing the warrant, right?
Yeah, I just thought under old business, you might want to reiterate the ballot questions. You've already signed it.
Oh, okay. Be placed on referendum ballot for the election to be held on June 9, 2015, and that a attested copy of this order is placed on file with the town clerk of Acton, Maine. Question 1. Shall the following amendment to the definition of Resource Protection District in the Town of Acton zoning ordinance proposed by the Board of Selectmen on 3/12/2015 be enacted? 4.2.2.4 Wetlands of 2 or more contiguous acres in the shoreline district and the associated buffer, which shall be calculated as follows, using a multiplier of 25 feet times the acreage of the wetland, not to exceed a 250 foot buffer. In the shoreline district is the change that the selectmen are proposing. Question 2, shall the following amendment to the Town of Acton zoning ordinance proposed by the Board of Selectmen on 3/12/2015 be enacted? The planning board may approve a conditional use permit for a single-family residence structure and any accessory structure in the Resource Protection District, provided that the applicant demonstrates that all of the following conditions are met. There is no location on the property other than the location within the Resource Protection District where the structure can be built. B, the lot on which the structure is proposed was established and recorded in the York County Registry of Deeds before the adoption of the Resource Protection District 9/29/2011. All proposed building, sewage disposal systems, and other improvements are 1, located on natural ground slopes of less than 20%, and 2, located outside a 75 feet horizontal distance of a stream or upland edge of a wetland. The total ground floor area of all principal and accessory structures within the resource protection buffer is limited to a maximum of 1,500 square feet. Question 3, shall the following amendment to the Town of Acton zoning ordinance proposed by the Planning Board on 1/15/2015 be enacted? 4.2.2.6 Special exceptions. The Planning Board may approve a conditional use permit for a single-family residential structure and any accessory structures in the Resource Protection District outside of the shoreline zone, provided that the applicant demonstrates that all of the following conditions are met. There is no location on the property other than the location within the Resource Protection District where the structure can be built. The lot on which the structure is proposed was established and recorded in York County Registry of Deeds before the adoption of the Resource Protection District 9/29/2011. All proposed buildings, sewage disposal systems, and other improvements are, 1, located on natural ground slopes of less than 20%, and 2, located out at 75 feet horizontal distance of a stream or upland edge of a wetland. The total ground floor area of all principal and accessory structures within the resource protection buffer is limited to a maximum of 1,500 square feet. Question 4, shall the town vote to accept the transfer of all assets of the Acton Ambulance Association to the town and provide ambulance service with firefighting services under one municipal department, subject to a 2015-2016 budget being approved at town meeting on June 13th, 2015? New business. The Board of Selectmen will be holding a public hearing at the Acton Town Hall at 7 p.m. on Thursday, April 9, 2015, to consider the renewal of a liquor license for Iron Tail Saloon located at 559 Route 109. The public is encouraged to attend, or comments and concerns can be emailed in advance to jru@actonmaine.org to be read aloud that evening. This is a renewal license for Iron Tails. Okay, the Acton Planning Board will hold a public hearing on April 30th, 2015 at 7 p.m. to discuss the proposed changes to the Acton zoning ordinance relative to resource protection districts at the Acton Town Hall, 35 H Road, Acton, Maine, 04001. That's to discuss the 3 zoning questions that I just read. Okay, an update on the school budget. The Warren and Finance voted on Tuesday. Tuesday it was, right? And their recommendations are not ready yet, so the Selectmen will not be signing the warrant tonight, and that's also for the solid waste warrant. We will be signing that on April 9th in order to be done in time for the town meeting and the ballot. Okay, any announcements?
Just one quick one. Fire rescue, still working on the merger for that, and there will be a public hearing coming up relatively soon, so keep an eye open for the date. The date will be announced here pretty soon, so it'll be a pretty important public hearing on that.
Okay. Anything other? Anybody else have anything they want to say? How do they know? It wasn't on the agenda, Dennis, but I saw you sitting here, so I figured I better put it in.
Well, it wasn't going to come up tonight, but I've been watching your meetings, and maybe if I start coming, we can draw a crowd. But maybe not, who knows? I got 2 things, and one is I'd like to thank the Selectmen and the Planning Board both for working on this zoning ordinance to do with the resource protection. And I'm glad you're going to have it as a referendum vote, because obviously there'll be a majority of people that will vote that you wouldn't get at the town meeting. So I think it's really the fairest way to do it, and I thank you for that. The other thing is with the ambulance.
Yeah.
I would like for it to be considered that for the first year, I know when they had a hearing a while ago, they was talking about $400,000 in that area. I would like for the people on the committee and the Selectmen to consider for the first year, I'm not against the merger, But for the first year, to set it up in the same way that the fire department is, we could appropriate $20,000 or something like that, and they get paid on the point system to give the town and the committees, and if we merge with another town or not, give us a little more time to see exactly how it's going to work out. And I think it'd be fair to the rescue people. They get a little bit of money for their work, and maybe we can get Shapley. I don't know how that's going, but maybe we can get Shapley to merge with us, and it won't be so bad on the taxpayers, because it is a huge amount of money.
I'll tell you, Shapley just had their town meeting, and they voted in a new position that oversees both the ambulance and the fire.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a paid position of $50,000 a year, who's going to control all the paperwork and everything else.
Right.
And then they voted in $60,000 in stipends to pay people to stay at the station for 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
So it came out to $110,000 for them to have somebody Monday through Friday, 12 hours, the busiest 12 hours when everybody's off at work. And then at night, go back to the on-call, but they're going to have an administrator to oversee it all. So that's what they voted, so I don't think they're interested in talking to us about merging, because they've already come up
Okay.
with a plan and voted it in, the town approved it.
But that's a big difference in 120,000 compared to 400.
450, yeah. We are going to have another public hearing, and of course, you know, the town of Florida to discuss it. We're for the merge too. Well, I'll speak for myself. I'm for the merge too, but a hit of $450,000 to the taxpayers this year is a concern. So we've been trying to come up with some different scenarios and lower numbers, and we'll have another public hearing to hear what the Ambulance Association has to say about that. And then, of course, we'll put it on the town floor to let the town decide what to do. But yeah, as you know, you can always vote down lower than what's
Oh,
out
yeah.
there. So
Yeah.
yeah, so
It's just
yeah,
a big hit.
Still a lot of discussion, and as you know, this went on when you were here,
Yeah.
when you had the person come in and take a look at it
Right.
to do the consolidation. And then it's been every year it's come before us, and then they weren't ready, you know, didn't have enough information. They have worked a little harder with this board that they have this year. They have gotten approval from the state to sign all the property and money to the town, where they had never gotten that far before.
Right.
And because it's over $50,000, they had to get approval from the Secretary of State,
Right.
or it was Secretary of State, right?
Yep.
So they have received that approval, because you've got the $20,000 they have in cash, you got the cost of the ambulance, and you got their building. So I think it was up to $50,000.
Oh, yeah, anything over 50,000 needed Secretary of State's approval, written approval, which they have gotten.
So this board has worked together with their attorney to go that far. So we felt that because they are that serious about it and have finally followed through to that point, that we should put it before the town, let them decide what they want to do. Of course, the other issue is, I'm sure you've heard what's happened with Sanford. They know that we're planning on trying to do something, so they're not charging us the $2,000 an ambulance call to come to Acton like they are in Lebanon. But after June, if we don't have something in place and they come out here, then they're going to start charging us $2,000 a car. Well, actually, they'll be charging the Ambulance Association, which will bankrupt them in no time, and then the town will have to take over after
Right.
that. So that's why we need to have the discussion. We need to put it forward and see what the town wants to do.
Well, you know, just with the sand shed and different things, I mean, it's,
Yeah.
when you listen to the school committee, and you have 53% of our kids getting free and reduced lunch, that's a pretty high percentage.
Right.
And the people that have kids in school are minority in town. The most of the people in town are your age, Ted, and or older. And I just think, you know, it's an awful lot of.
My age and older.
So anyway, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
On the salt shed, Dennis, we're looking at a couple of options, because, you know, we've got some estimates that came in without going out to bid, so we're looking at like $400,000. And when we put it into the budget with the fire and everything else, it was going to increase the tax rate quite a bit. So we relooked at that and financing the building for 10 years instead of 5 years. 5 years is $97,000 a year, so you're gonna put that into the tax every year. 10 years, it's less than 50, it's like 47 or 48,000 if we can get locked into the rates right now. And we just finished paying the reeval loan, which was $55,000 a year. So that's already built into the budget. So we can build the salt shed for what our budget is already, and then the only increases, normal increases with oil and all the things that normally come up, and then whatever it costs for the ambulance association. So we're trying to keep it down. And if the school gets their budget voted in the way that they want it, they're planning on putting $110,000 forward this year, which would help us out a lot too. So that's some of the stuff we're working on.
Could I make a comment?
Absolutely. This is the time for it.
Talking about the possibility of replacing the sand shed.
It's not a possibility. We have to put it on the town floor because the insurance company tells us we have to do it this year.
I encourage you to possibly talk to, especially John Sylvester over in Alfred. I understand that they've gone to the kind of a modified procedure for sanding the roads, similar to the state. The state essentially uses zero sand anymore.
Right. Yeah, we had that discussion at the town meeting, right? We've been trying to get the state guy down that taught that class that everybody went to. And some of the road commissioners were there, and according to the road commissioners, it will not work in Acton for a couple of reasons. The state's using it on the highways, and they get a lot of traffic, because what they do is they put it down first, they put the salt down first, and then the traffic makes it work. Our roads aren't traveled enough for that. And the other thing is it doesn't work on steep grades, so like Fox's Ridge and Milton Mills Road and Acton Ridge, we would still have to put sand down. And our big cost in salting and sanding is the salt. We would still be using the same amount of salt. So we wouldn't save a lot of money by doing that, so we still need a place to store the material.
Yeah, but the thing here, Ted, is that Alfred, I understand, is modified, and they've been able to reduce the sand requirement down to, a tenth of what they used to. And all I'm trying to put make you aware of that there's other people beside the state. We know what, the state has done. But all of a sudden,
Well, Sanford-
they turn around and say, well, the little towns can't do it because our roads are different, we don't have the traffic. So I'm just suggesting that somebody talk to Alfred and see how it's working out over there.
Well, we already
And-
talked to Peter Smith, and they do it in Sanford. And Peter agrees that it wouldn't work here in Acton, it doesn't work on their back roads, so they do it on the main drag. So we've already looked into this, and we've already read the documentation from the class, and we're gonna have the man from the state come down. So we're not done yet.
Yeah. But as I say, it stands a potential that we don't need as big a facility as we have now. If we can reduce that.
We will,
instead
we
of
will.
four-
We are looking into it, and we will.
Yeah.
Yep, okay,
That's all
thank
I'm
you.
asking.
All right. Nobody else? A motion?
I move we adjourn.
Seconded.
All in favor?